Hi cuties! Today I wanted to just kind of talk about the funny reactions I've had to me wearing Lolita clothing and also kind of funny reaction experiences. And when I say reaction experiences, I kind of mean something about where the reaction wasn't really funny, but then the way I or my friend responded made it funny. So back when I first started wearing Lolita, I was in my freshman year of high school, and I did wear Lolita throughout high school. Not on a daily basis, obviously, but maybe once a week towards the end, and once a month at the start probably, even though I only had one or two dresses, and kind of weird. So, back when I first started dressing it, I mostly just wore it to high school and the mall, because where else am I gonna go? Sometimes I wore it to Busch Gardens. I didn't get very many super interesting reactions at Busch Gardens usually. Usually people would just ask to take our picture and ask if we worked there. Sometimes, a lot of times when I'm not at Busch Gardens, I'm just going to Wawa to buy a sandwich, people will go, "I know where you work. You must work at Busch Gardens. You're wearing your work uniform from Busch Gardens." And I'm like, what? So, because I live about less than an hour away from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, a lot of people think I work at Busch Gardens, and that's why I'm dressing this way. So it's really interesting. Now, yeah, sometimes people are mean, but I do just want to preface this video by saying that overwhelmingly, the reactions I get to wearing Lolita fashion are very positive. So if you are interested in starting wearing the fashion and you are scared of what you should expect and scared people will be mean to you, it will probably happen, but more often than not, people are really nice. So don't be scared and just try to have fun. So basically, when I first started wearing the fashion, basically I was just getting reactions from other high schoolers, and I live in a town where everybody kind of knows everybody, but they already thought I was weird. So they didn't really want to talk to me and ask me about it for the most part. Some of them did. I found that the girls were mostly pretty nice about it, and more I got made fun of by guys. In the beginning, it was just a lot of people saying, "Little Bo Peep, where are your sheep? Little Bo Peep, where are your sheep?" Because one of my first dresses was pink. And that didn't bother me. It was kind of funny for a little while, and by senior year, when all the freshmen were screaming "bah" at me in the hallway, I was about to lose my mind. I was pretty sick of it. But I never really made me that angry. So the one thing that I really did like that happened repeatedly was there are these stoners when I was in 10th or 11th grade. I think they were in the grade ahead of me. And so I didn't get this pleasure in senior year. But whenever I would walk by them in the high school after lunch, they would start singing Disney princess songs at me. And did they learn these songs just for me? Do they just really like Disney? I don't know what's happening, but it was great. I thought it was hilarious. I don't feel like they were trying to be mean-spirited or make fun of me. I felt like it was just silly and fun. But they would be like, every time I would leave lunch, they would be like, "Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella," for a while there, and I would lose it laughing. I thought it was great. So that was my favorite reaction probably that I ever got. One time in high school, I was walking through the lunchroom, and some guy just stood up suddenly out of his chair and was just like, "My fair lady," and I was like, well, at least that was really dramatic, and it surprised me. I was a little shocked because he kind of jumped at me a little bit, but it was at least more creative than "Little Bo Peep, where are your sheep?" So I thought it was pretty funny. Other than that, like I said, oh no, I have the best story from high school. I almost forgot the best story from high school. So in either junior or senior year, I'd been doing this for a while. Everyone knew me. This guy came up to me, and he was just genuinely curious, so maybe I was being a little bit mean, but not really. But he just came up to me and he said, "Jessica, I just really want to know, why do you dress like that?" And I'd been asked this question a few times at this point, usually by people who were strangers, not people who had seen me doing it for like 3 years now. So when he asked that, I was like, why would I dress like this? And like in my head, I was thinking, why would I dress like this other than because I like it? You've seen me do it for so long. Like if it was the first time you're seeing someone dressed like this, I can understand asking that question. But asking me that, like, why do you think I dress like this? So I looked him in the eye, and with a very straight face, I said, I dress like this because my mommy makes me. And his mouth fell open, and I walked away, and I went around the corner, and I just started laughing so hard I almost fell on the ground because I was going to lose it. He never said anything about it to me again. I think we did talk again, but he never asked me anything about my clothes again, which was hilarious. I'm proud of that. Maybe I shouldn't be, but that made me laugh that I said that. I also remember there was when I started dating my current boyfriend in high school, people would bother him about why does she dress like this? Why do you date her? She's so weird. And at one point, another guy asked him, what is wrong with her? Why does she keep wearing the same dress to school every day? I was not wearing the same dress to school every day. I was actually wearing the same coat to school every day. It was a long buttoned coat with a hood on it, and for some reason this guy thought that it was a dress, and I would wear jeans under it sometimes, and I guess just because it was long and kind of full, he thought it was a dress, but it was clearly a coat, and I would sometimes take it off or at least unbutton it in class. So that really weirded me out that he thought my coat was a dress and I was just being gross and wearing the same dress every day. That weirded me out. So anyways, in my early days, like I said, I would also go to the mall a lot because there is nothing else for a bored high schooler to do around here but just go to the mall. So I would go to the mall, go to Borders and read manga or whatever I would do. And sometimes I would go by myself, sometimes I would go with my boyfriend, sometimes I would go alone. One time when I went alone, I noticed this guy was following me, and it was starting to worry me and make me upset because he was just following me kind of from a distance and kind of freaking me out. Then I got to a part of the mall where there weren't a lot of people around, and he kind of charges at me, and I freeze. I'm like panicking, like about to have a heart attack, and he's like kind of charging at me, and he comes up to me and he looks really angry and he goes, why do you dress like that? And I'm like, because I like to. And he goes, oh, that's really cool. And then he walked away, and it scared the bejesus out of me. And I guess he was just really nervous and awkward and not good at talking to people, but he scared me to death. So I don't know if that one's actually funny, but I just thought I would include it because even when people are being scary, maybe they are they have somewhat good intentions. I don't know, but that freaked me out. Another time I was at the mall, I was just walking through the food court, and these two guys are walking in front of me. And then one of them just casually turns around and just looks over his shoulder and notices me. And he does a double take, and he does a triple take, and he nudges his friend, and they both look back at me. And then they look at each other, and then they start walking backwards while looking at me. For like maybe 30 seconds, they're just walking backwards while staring at me. And then they start walking forwards again, and they look at each other, and they nod, and they go and they sit on a bench and just kind of watch me walk by, and they go, girl, you beautiful, you keeping it real, what, you amazing. I was just like laughing. I thought that was really funny and cute. So then I went to college, and I got a lot less reaction in general. I feel like the longer I've been wearing it, the less reactions I've gotten in general. But people really didn't care in college, and if they did, they weren't vocal about it. If I was in a more artsy class or like a general ed class, People were cool with it, and they might give me compliments or ask me about it, if they responded to it at all. And when I was in math type classes and science classes, because I was a biology major, chemistry minor, I never got like any reactions except for a lot of glares. Like, people would just glare at me like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you here? You're so weird. So it was a slightly uncomfortable environment, but nothing too major. I didn't really get a lot of reactions at all, just some glares, which was weird. There was a guy in my calculus class, though, one time, who made a YouTube video about me. And I found it, and I just thought it was the most bizarre thing, because it was 100% about me, because he had talked to me shortly before the video was made, and he was clearly talking about the expensive clothes. For some reason, he said I wear silk stockings, which I do not wear silk stockings, and I thought that was bizarre. But anyways, he was like, yeah, she wears these expensive clothes that are like very fancy and fluffy, and she wears silk stockings, and why does she do this? Because what if someone steals them? I'm like, how is someone going to steal my dress right off my body? And also, nobody around there knows the value of these clothes. Nobody around there knows where to sell them for a profit. They're not going to take them to a pawn shop and get anything for an angelic, pretty dress. So that was just completely bizarre. He was weird. But I commented on the video, and he avoided me like the plague after that point. So he didn't expect me to see it. I don't even remember how I found it. But yeah, that was weird. Another thing that happened to me when I was at ODU is a lot of times I have had people sneak and take pictures of me. I also have people ask to take pictures of me, which is the polite thing to do. And when they ask, I say yes. Always. I don't think I've ever said no when someone's politely asked to take my picture. But sometimes people will try to, sneak pictures of me, go, oh my god, look at the freak. So one time I was just walking across campus at ODU outside, and this other girl's walking towards me, and I start to notice that as she's walking towards me, she's holding her phone. She's kind of holding it right in front of her face, and as I get closer, she's pointing the phone at me as we walk towards each other. And I'm like, ugh. But I never think fast enough to do something funny for the pictures. I always, even if I start to do something funny, like a peace sign or wave, it's always too late. So that sucked. But as she's taking her little picture of me, or I don't know if she even got a chance or not, suddenly, because she's not watching where she's walking, she trips and lands right on her face. And I didn't know whether to feel bad or laugh, so I just tried not to laugh, because I don't know if she's hurt, but I wasn't about to stop. I just kept walking because she's rude. So that was kind of funny to me. If you're going to be rude, you're going to fall on your face. But also, on the topic of people taking pictures of me without asking, this one didn't bother me so much, because I guess they were working on some kind of project, and it definitely wasn't mean-spirited, but it was still weird. So I'm walking not on ODU's campus, but across the road where there's kind of like some restaurants and stuff. And I hear click, 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 click. And I turn around, there's this girl with this huge camera, and she's click, 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 click. And then she notices that I noticed her, and she goes, oh, hi. And I'm like, hi. And then I just didn't think anything of it. I just thought, wow, that was really silly. There's the paparazzi trying to get me, joking. And then a few weeks later, I went into the art building at ODU, and upstairs. And I'm just walking, and then there's this like poster full of like pictures of, well, not poster, it's a big board of pictures that people have taken around the ODU campus, like, this is ODU or whatever. And there's a picture of me that she took, and I'm just like, oh my, that's the worst picture. And it was kind of like right before, as I was turning to see her, and I was kind of slouching, and I wasn't wearing a blouse under my jumper skirt, and I was wearing this ugly backpack that didn't match my dress at all. And I was like, this is the worst picture, but I guess I'm famous, so it's okay. So I thought that was funny. Wish she could have asked me to get a better picture, but whatever. But I really did think that was funny, and I wasn't mad about it at all. The last reaction I can think about sharing at ODU is this one time this guy with the craziest hair, I've seen him a few times since then, so I don't want to like say anything that would make him like too recognizable to people who know him in case they think I'm trying to make fun of him or something. But this guy with the most ridiculous hair comes up to me and he goes, "Are you at Shabbat?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Are you dressed as a Shabbat? Are you cosplaying right now?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't cosplay, I actually just dress like this." And he goes, "No, you don't." And I was like, "What?" And at this point, I've worn Lolita to ODU at least a dozen times, probably more. So I'm like, "No, I do dress like this. I dress like this pretty often, actually." And he goes, "I've seen you wear jeans before," and he marches off. And I was like, whoa, what was that? Like, you know, people don't have to dress the same exact way all the time, and I don't even like wearing jeans, but you know, I can't wear Lolita to like biology or chemistry lab. Like, I don't know, that was really weird and rude, but I took it more as funny than rude, but whew, weird. Now this is my favorite reaction story that has ever happened, and like I said at the beginning, it's not the reaction that was funny, but the reaction to the reaction. So, one day, we're at a meetup at Mount Trashmore, and my good friend Elise, it was her first meetup, and she also planned it and did a really great job. And so we are walking across Mount Trashmore, just minding our own business, about a dozen of us. And there's these guys playing football way in the distance, almost too far to even like see what we're wearing, so it was kind of weird. And then we notice them shouting at us, and one of them goes, "It's not Halloween!" And Elise decides to yell back at them, and she says, "I know, it's almost Easter." And then they go, "Take that shit off!" And then she goes, "Oh, but then I'd be naked." And then we just all started laughing. We thought that was the best thing ever. So maybe it's not as funny when I'm retelling it, because I'm not that funny. But Elise is funny, and I liked it. So, all of those reactions were like literally years ago. I really don't get that many reactions anymore, it seems like, when I wear Lolita out. And maybe it's because more people know about it. I have had people say, "Look at Lolita," like several times when I've been out recently in public. And that's pretty cool. Maybe people are just slowly becoming more open-minded, and that's why I get less funny and crazy reactions. And so I don't really have anything recent. Pretty much the most recent fun reaction I've gotten was I was out walking with my friend and some guys yelled that we had swag. So, but I do have fun reactions from the past. I have my memories. So, what I would like you to do is tell me your funny reaction stories, because I would love to hear them. Just go ahead and let me know in the comments, or if for some reason you don't want to, you can send me an email. My email account is princess.jessica.kate@gmail.com, and it is Jessica and not Jessie in the middle because for some reason Princess Jessie-Kate was taken. So princess.jessica.kate@gmail.com, and you guys can email me pretty much anything there if you want to. So I will see you cuties soon. Bye!